Hello, hello, hello. I got this book really spoke to me. It's titled, let me pull it up on the screen here. It's titled Speak to Sell, and it's by my main man, Dan Kennedy. Persuade, influence, and establish authority. Promote your product, services, practice, business, or cause. The science of selling one to many instead of one to one. Speak to sell, as opposed to what? As opposed to speaking to gain applause, as opposed to getting applause. Dan is my guy, and you can Google Dan Kennedy. You can check him out. He's the direct marketing guru. Um, this book, he told me a couple things that I have been struggling with, or he at least clarified some things. One of the things that is very hard for me, it's not hard for me, but one of the things I've been struggling with is that most of the people don't want to hear what I have to say. When I tell parents that giving their kids smartphones and sending them to school and outsourcing their education and having 9 televisions in the house and all the things that they do, when I tell them that that is destroying their kids' future, they don't want to hear it. Okay, so I have been struggling for a while to figure out how I can broach these subjects. I have to be authentic. I have to be honest with parents. I am not going to beat around the bush and say, oh, it's okay, you can watch TV, you can do this. And then your kid, your 7-year-old can get to calculus, your 9-year-old can get to calculus. Your kids can be hyper accelerated, they can reach most of their potential. It's not true. So when I talk to parents, I piss a lot of people off. They leave the room, they call me all sorts of names. I'm actually kind of comfortable with that, but Dan's book told me that you have to make the audience, if you want them to buy your stuff, if you want the audience to buy your stuff, you have to make them writhe in pain. They have to feel that they can't go forward and achieve the ideal, in this case, in my case, raise hyper accelerated kids without your help. And he's manipulating the audience psychologically, but he's telling you why that's okay. Because people won't do anything. They quit their diets January 15th. They'll go to a seminar, their enthusiasm will wane. If you believe in your product, and I absolutely believe in me and what I'm selling in my products, you have to make people feel the pain and tell them how bad it's going to be if they don't have your products, if they don't buy from you. And so he diverges from all the speakers who want to go up there and gain applause. Applause is nothing. Okay, if nobody buys your product, if people are just going to forget your speech and not change their life, then you did nothing. There's a half-life to the enthusiasm you'll get from hearing any speech. He wants to find the 5 to 10% people in that audience who are going to be so moved that they're going to buy your product and that they're going to implement. Okay, so that's what Speak to Sell is all about. And again, it diverges from what everyone else does, and you're not going to hear anybody else recommend what he recommends, beating the audience up, make them feel like they need your help and that their life is going to be a disaster and then they need expert assistance and all this other stuff. First of all, nobody needs anything. But if you have a goal that you want, everybody has a default future. If you have a goal you're trying to achieve, whether it's, as we talked about earlier in another video, amplifying your voice, blowing out a business, to make it huge, whatever your goal is, you kind of have to listen to Dan. And you need to have really a signature speech. And so I'm working on that myself. I want my kids to have a signature speech. When you have a signature speech, as Dan does, and he's had for years, he knows what works, he knows what doesn't. He knows what's going to get people to take action, what's not. And people who criticize him haven't sold a fraction of what he's sold. They haven't helped a fraction of the number of people he's helped. And so again, it's being abrasive. It's having that rough exterior, but getting things done. And this is, at the core of all my belief systems, especially on how to best raise kids and best, get the most out of your own life. All right, so I highly recommend reading Speak to Sell by Dan Kennedy. Let's see, does it come up when I click on it? Yeah, Speak to Sell comes up a little bit here. Persuade, influence, and establish authority. Promote your products, services, practice, business, or cause. Dan's the man. He really is. All right, that's it.